Like if hadn't become an actor, or like if I hadn't become a professional actor, I would still been acting, because acting has changed me as a human being for the better.
What's up, everybody? This is Fred Richani. We have right here via Zoom a very special guest joining us from beautiful Copenhagen. We're talking to one of the stars of The Last Kingdom Season 5, one of the critically acclaimed actors, Micki Stoltt. Micki, thank you so much for your time. How's everything going?
It's going very well, and thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Beautiful Copenhagen. I like the background you got there. Wow.
Yeah, it's my fiance. She loves like a peacock chair, so yeah, I always use it whenever I have to do something like this because it looks a little bit like a throne.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, it fits the theme, and it's not easy to be a part of a show like The Last Kingdom that's such a long shooting days and it's so deep and it's such a hardcore fan base. It's certainly not easy to join the show and really make an impact in the final season. You played Rognvaldr, Sidrika's brother, a guy that maybe we could trust, maybe we can't trust. We won't give away too many spoilers if people haven't watched it, but just a fantastic character. How did you get linked up with the TLK crew?
Well, it's actually, it was actually my fourth self-tape for The Last Kingdom. So I have auditioned for like Sidrik and also for Sidrika before. So that was also really amazing that I knew that character so well. And then I got to play the brother. And to get to play the brother of Ace is also just amazing because he's just amazing and an amazing guy, amazing actor. So what I was most surprised about is that how amazing the set was. It's like it's and I've heard that from several people. It's like one of the best sets you can be at because everybody's just so nice. Everybody was so nice and everybody was friendly, and coming in as a new character and as a new actor, they welcomed you into the family.
Definitely. And something else I've heard too, and you're the actor, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the way they shoot, like some of these fight scenes are very unique compared to other shows from what I've heard. Like they're kind of really in there with you, like when you're holding the sword and doing your thing. Is that the case?
Yeah. We had this amazing stunt choreographer, Levente, and he was just, but everybody was so amazing, and we got time to rehearse. And as you can all see, they do amazing fight scenes and amazing fight choreography. So that was also pretty hard, pretty tough, but it was really, really fun.
And you're obviously a pretty nice guy. I've heard that you're a nice guy on set and everything, but your character's a little complicated. So you're getting into a character like that, or any kind of character that maybe has, a bit of a dark side. Is it kind of hard to turn that switch on at first when you're preparing?
Well, no, because it's like, or yes, the hard thing is like, you don't want to go in and just try to be evil. You don't want to go in and try to be one who fucks everything up. I wanted to be able to really understand why my character did as he did. And for me, it comes from a perspective where Rognvaldr is he's a child that never grew up. He's the completely opposite of Ace's character, Sidrika. And Sidrika is like, really, he thinks long term. He's like very grown up. He's very calculated. He's all these things. And Rognvaldr is just the complete opposite. He's just like the only thing he knows is what he's going to eat next and maybe something after that. And then he's just going for whatever he wants or feels. So he's basically just a child. And also for him, it's like for him, everything that happens and with his brother, where he kind of wants to defeat him, is only like he's a kid, and he's like, it's a game of chess for him. It's like, okay, you won the last battle, now I'm gonna see if I can win the next one. So that was kind of my approach to him, that he's just a kid that wants recognition from his brother, and he gets that in the end.
And as we learned throughout the show too, he also realizes kind of like the error of his ways, and it's like, oh, like, maybe I was a little, to say the least, maybe I was a little too arrogant or power hungry. And
he's like, he's not thinking things through, but it comes from a place of just wanting to be validated, and we all want that from our family. So that was how I connected with him, and it was like in that time, it was a rough time they lived in back then, and it was very natural to go into a battle against your brother or a family, or even kill a family member to rule something. It was like how it was. It was life and death also with your family. So yeah.
And in terms of just like shooting the show and everything, and you know, making sure you're off book and everything else, but also kind of being aware of like your surroundings, and like you talk about like how like the set, like, you've never seen like such a nice set and everything, and the set pieces and things like that. Like, how did you juggle all that? I mean, did you have like a very like regimented schedule as far as like your end, like preparation, like prior to going to the set, making sure like you're in shape, and then on set, making sure like, okay, I got enough sleep, I'm all good, I'm talking to directors, everything like that?
Yeah, I tried to control everything I could control, basically, and that was like, well, trying to be as fit as possible because I knew there was going to be fight scenes, and try to like just in general be on time. Try to be good with time and try to have things prepared. As for my character, try to come up with a lot of suggestions. Have a lot of doings, that thing I could add to the table and not just come all blank and be like, okay, where should I stand? What should I do? Blah, blah. But it's like, actually, I want to bring something. And for some directors, that is amazing that they get an actor that brings something that has a lot of suggestions. And for others, they just have like such a clear vision of how they want it to be. But then it's also just good, like, okay, then I have prepared a lot of stuff and we didn't need it, but I had it in my pocket if we needed it. So yeah.
Well said. So for any actors watching this, always prepare. You know, better to almost over prepare than to kind of come in and
I don't believe in over preparing.
Okay.
I believe in that you do everything you can, because when you're on set, you don't know how the day is going to go. And like on the day is like, maybe it's the weather is bad, so you have to be inside, even though it says it's an outdoor shoot. Like you don't know, and the directors don't know. We're just trying to meet schedule, get the scenes done, and it's, for me, what I've heard is that it's gold when an actor has something to offer, because then the directors can focus on different things, because the director is not focusing that much on the actors. It's like they need to be like highly focused on where the cameras are at, if the lighting is good, if like everything else. They need to have so many other things under control, so they can just trust the actor, the more they want to work with you, because you're easy to work with. So the more work you've done, the more things you know, the more precise, the more you know your lines is always the first one, because it's like that's just things up if you don't. So yeah, be as prepared as possible, and nothing is ever wasted. There was not one single thing that I prepared for one scene that if it didn't get used, I couldn't use for another scene. So yeah, it's only benefiting you if you are really prepared.
Love that. Those are definitely some great gems. Yeah, that's so true. And I'd imagine, you know, it also, even if they don't use everything that you kind of studied or factored in, like it still makes you look really good. And they might say, oh man, okay, Micki's great. Wow, that prep was great. And he studied this in and out and everything else. And yeah, maybe we'd love to use him for another project or incorporate this scene. So yeah, totally understand that. And as far as you mentioned at the beginning of this interview, this was like before you got this role, that was like your fourth self-tape, like your fourth audition for The Last Kingdom. So I'm assuming that you've been pretty familiar with the show and were a fan, you know, prior to joining the cast. So how did you just keep going as you know, because some people might be like, oh, okay, I didn't get it the first time, the second time, I'm going to stop. What kept you going to say, okay, no, you know what? I'm going to get involved in this show somehow.
It's my job. I go, but you know, that's how it is. It's like, how do I keep going? It's like, it's my job. It's like my job is like doing self-tapes, and you, like any actor, is like doing really a lot of self-tape. They're doing a lot of auditions, because we want to put ourselves out there. And if like, listen, there's so many people that are auditioning. If you're going after big stuff like The Last Kingdom, Game of Thrones, even like big Hollywood movies, it's like there's going to be 300, 500, 700 other people auditioning for that part. So you can't be taken down and feel like you're a actor just because you don't get the part, because maybe someone just looks more the part, and that could really be the case in me getting this part of The Last Kingdom, because me and Ace look a lot like each other. So Sigtryggr and Rognvaldr could actually be brothers, and we have people doubting if we are or are not brothers. So it's like that was a huge factor. So it's like you never know. So it's like it's our job. It's our job to prepare. It's our job to do acting, no matter if it's on set, or if it's rehearsing, or if it's auditioning, it's a job. So we do it.
It's nice that you take your career in your hands, and it's transition, because of course everybody knows you now from The Last Kingdom and some of the other projects that you're currently working on. That's fantastic, but every journey has to start somewhere. So for Micki, how did acting and showbiz and performing arts come into your life?
Before I tried in any way to become an actor, I got interested in it really. I wanted to be an animator or an illustrator. Like I just wanted to draw and be in like a world, but I just figured out that I couldn't sit down for 6, 8, 10 hours a day and draw. It was like, I loved it, but it was my body needed to do something, and I'm a very physical human being. So I was like, no, I have to do something else. And I figured that out pretty quickly when I went to an animation school. So I just looked up, like tried to figure out what else. And then I saw like this acting, I think it was a short film that was looking for actors, and I applied for it and I got the part. And that was when I was like, okay, I need to get some training in this. And then I went on to different colleges, acting colleges. And yeah, it's just about, doing it. Then after that, so
it kind of snowballed from there. When did you get to the point where you were able to work full time in the industry, like in some capacity in acting, whether it's acting, instructing, a little bit of both? Like is there ever a time as an actor where you feel like comfortable, like, okay, like I'm stable now? Like I know you're always waiting for your next gig, but is there like a aha moment, like, okay, like this is my career now?
It's a good question. Because right now I feel I'm there, but I don't feel it's anything that is like, now it is like this and it's going to be like this forever. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many actors who has had amazing gigs, has been on big TV shows, and then they have like a dip on a couple of years where they need to work at a bar. And it's just, that's just how most artists, I won't even just say actors, but most artists are working like that, because it's so sporadic. Like when you have jobs, when you don't have any, and there is no shame in that at all. There is no shame in feeling like, okay, I really want to be able to support my family, so I have to take extra jobs. So in order to do that, and there's like, then you should really do it. And if I need to do it, if not, like right now I'm coaching a lot, for example. I'm doing a lot of coaching, and fortunately, which is also a thing that has been very valuable to me, is that I figure out what to, like I found something to do that was not just waiting for the phone to ring and somebody to call me and say, hey, you got the part. I wanted to be able to work in some sort of way, and being an acting coach is an amazing way to keep myself updated and keep perfecting my craft, but in working with others. So that's very important for me to have to do that. Even when I have shows, when I was on The Last Kingdom, I was coaching people as well. So it's important that you find something more that is also valuable to you, because then you also don't feel as stressed, that you feel like, okay, I need to take this acting gig, even though I don't want to, but I need the money. But it's like, if you have a second income, then you can say, I don't want to do that. And that's great.
I love that. And it's so realistic too. And as a creator, I've had to take different jobs here and there. And like, I just interviewed an actor she's got a film in a film festival and this other stuff. She's like, yeah, I still coach. I still do this. I still instruct dance. Like you just got to do what you got to do. And it's like, hey, if you got to make a living, if you got to keep yourself afloat, especially in the States where, they don't have benefits and stuff like that without jobs, like sometimes you got to, do what you got to do in order
and
to
also to keep yourself sane. You need to be sane, and you're not really sane if you keep relying on that, I need to get the next job, but actually feeling comfortable, that I'm feeling like, not only do I need to do this, but I also want to do this other thing than acting. I want to do something else, which that's a really great thing. If you're working in any art form, I think that you have a second thing or even maybe a third thing as well, where you're like, I also like to do this. That's also what I want to do.
Yeah, the desperation does not always work. It sounds great in the movies, but no, a lot of times it can lead to you making some not so great decisions. So yeah, like you said, better to have some stability, some sanity for sure. You mentioned your acting coaching. Is there any place we can book you, find you?
Yeah, definitely. It's like I'm My agency, Panorama Agency, is they have their own acting school, actually, Panorama Academy, and I'm coaching there. And we also do online sessions. So we do it like here, Zoom, and like I just love working in many specific ways. So we're both coaching, like we have a class where we can go regularly and like an actor's gym. But I'm also coaching if people get a self-tape or an audition, coaching them on the specific thing, or if they get a part. I've coached a guy for Emily in Paris, for example, and that was great, taking him through that whole. So then we work on every scene for that series. So that's a really like form of on-set coaching, even though I'm not on set, I'm on Zoom, but we're working with the work that are currently at hand.
That's awesome. We can definitely check it out. We will put that all in the show notes. Before we let you go, you've been very gracious with your time. We always like to ask all our guests some kind of random and rapid fire questions just to get to know them better. Are you ready, Micki?
I am ready.
All right. Favorite late night snack or cheat meal?
A raw protein bar.
Okay. Any specific flavor?
Peanut.
All right, there you go.
I love peanut butter. Peanut butter is a good one. Maybe peanut butter even more. That's a guilty pleasure.
All right. Besides yourself, who's your favorite Last Kingdom character?
I really, really, really love Father Pulik, actually.
Yeah, he seems like a very pleasant guy.
And also, of course, but we remind so much of each other. It's like Hestetraileren. He's definitely, but we're brothers, so we are like, he's the same. Him and Rognvaldr are the same. I love them.
When he met you on set for the first time, were you two kind of freaked out at how much you two looked alike and had the mannerisms? Like, was there a little bit of like, bro, like, did your mom meet somebody or vice versa? Did you have to do like a 23andMe at first?
Nah, it's like it was also like in the beginning we were like, okay, well I can sort of see it, and then we quickly went. I was like, okay, when we saw everything, and especially in our costumes, we're like, yeah, okay, we can see why we look alike. But yeah, we worked really hard to get to know each other, and he's definitely my brother for sure. He's amazing, and he's a real good friend now. So yeah.
Most awkward moment as an actor?
I always find that I've been doing a couple of nudity scenes, and you always need to get past that awkward moment where you're like, okay, now we're naked in front of each other. But it's just to get that over and done with, because within a couple of minutes it's also, yeah, but it's just work. Now we're here. Now this is where we are. Okay. So there's always an awkward moment, and I've been doing a couple of those so far.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard like with some shows and some movies and everything, like they do have what they call like an intimacy coordinator to help things out. I don't know if you've had that, but like I've heard that before, like where it's supposed to make the process easier.
Definitely. I always advise to do we need the intimacy coordinators now, and it's so important, and for everybody involved, to make everything feel secure. Unfortunately, I haven't worked with anyone so far, but luckily I've had amazing co-actors that has been very respectful, and I've tried to be as respectful as possible. So as well. So yeah.
You're based in Copenhagen, right? We always hear about London, New York, LA, Atlanta as these like cool movie hubs, Paris. But Copenhagen, haven't heard much about. Obviously, a beautiful place to be. Can you tell us a little about the film and TV scene there? How's it going?
Well, it's like there has been this Nordic noir kind of thing happening over the last couple of years, where things have gotten, well, we have quite some things out there, like The Killing, the series The Killing, and The Bridge, and like, which is also in between Denmark and Sweden, and it's good. I think Denmark make great movies, to be honest. And Another Round has just won prizes, and there is like different things happening. So even though we are a small country, I think we are making good, I would say solid films.
What's your favorite spot in Copenhagen or anywhere in Denmark? If I'm going on vacation, I hit you up. I'm like, hey, Micki, like, what's a place like I have to visit that everybody knows?
It's just Tivoli. Tivoli, you have to go to. Nobody have to go to Tivoli, and everybody says that. But even Walt Disney went to Tivoli for inspiration for Disney World. So yeah, go there.
True. If it works for Walt Disney, you know.
If it works for Walt Disney, then it should work for pretty much everyone else.
Awesome. What's the best piece of advice you give for success?
Be resilient. Try to make yourself as resilient as possible. I love the word resilient, because you're going to meet obstacles no matter in what field you're trying to get success in. You have to be persistent, and you have to be able to face letdowns and knockouts and people that are not nice, people that are not saying nice things about your work. You have to be resilient and know why you do it, and then go after it with everything you got, with everything you have. No matter if you, and that's another thing, no matter if you achieve your goal or not, because it should be your journey there that should matter. Like if I hadn't become an actor, or like if I hadn't become a professional actor, I would still been acting, because acting has changed me as a human being for the better. So that already there, even before I had any, would you say, commercial success in anything, then it had changed my life, and I wouldn't have been without it.
Fantastic stuff. Very well said. Wise words from a wise man. Of course, you can stream The Last Kingdom featuring Micki right now, season 5, and all the seasons streaming right now on Netflix. It's critically acclaimed for a reason. Micki, thank you so much for your time. Where can we find you and your classes online?
Thank you for having me. Well, Panorama Agency, you can write them. So panoramaagency.com. It's very, very simple. Or Panorama Academy is probably better. Panoramaacademy.com. And then write them there.